Good morning. This is Joanne in Colorado. Kind of quiet out here this morning. Oh, I know this day's coming, but I don't like to see it come. My flowers are finally starting to bloom that I have planted so many of for the hummingbirds. And it was so quiet I couldn't hear any hummingbirds out here this morning. I did, however. You see, there's a bunch of those little flowers. They're all opening, finally, right here where I can photograph them. And, well, I've seen two. And I don't even know if they're in the yard right now. But anyway, my son, I guess he got a notice on his phone that a bunch of hummingbirds were migrating through Colorado. I didn't get that notice, but anyways, I know that there's been kind of waves, and then with the rain and stuff, the yard was just full of hummingbirds that were eating like they were desperate, I guess. And that's usually what they do when they're traveling. But then sometimes, oh, excuse me, the little babies, they get kind of aggressive trying to push the plants around. just trying to get their beak and their tongue in there, the flower where they can sip the nectar out. So anyway, I know we still have hummingbirds. Last year we had them through the first part of October. I'm pretty sure there's been years where they were gone by around now. But the weather's nice. It's still nice in the evening. The report says that the bugs, they need to be able to eat bugs because that's where they get their protein. They get their carbs from the flowers. But they said if the population of little bugs dwindles, that they will move on. And I know when I mow the lawn and I walk over the grass, there are tons of little teeny tiny gnats. So I know the bugs are not gone. And I don't spray my plants, no matter how tempting it is. I did have to spray a couple for fungus, but I try to keep that off the flowers completely. It just got on the leaves. And anyway, my bird bath, I had put a little line of hot glue on where the hummingbirds were sliding off. And my son said, you know, we watched hummingbirds and how they see iridescent, and all the flowers that they are attracted to, they can see, they light up with iridescent light. And not only do the flowers light up with iridescent light, but they light up, what do I want to say, the very point where they need to put their beak, where the nectar is, it almost almost lights up like a little flashlight in there at night. We've shined the right frequency of light on them at night, and it was unbelievable. I might try to do that on a video just so you can see it. I haven't had any hummingbirds that I have seen take a bath in this bird bath. And I developed these bird baths for hummingbirds because they use them all the time. And every year I've had lots and lots of hummingbirds in there. I put the camera out for a little bit, and there would be at least 3 hummingbirds taking baths in a short amount of time. But this one I laid a little bead of that hot glue on because I was observing the hummingbirds sliding off of the flower, and it was just a little too slippery surface evidently. But when I put the bead on there, which my friend Robbie in California does, and they can stand on that bead and it keeps them from slipping off and it gives them a perch. And they use it on hers. But here, for some reason or other, I don't know if it's a different kind of hot glue or if it was just different for them. But my son shone that iridescent light on there, and it lit up and glowed. So I'm not positive if that worried them. I honestly haven't seen more than a couple hummingbirds take a bath on that since I put the hot glue on there for them. So anyways, my yard has much fewer. I had about 20, 30 hummingbirds through here, and at least 10 most of the time. This morning, like I said, I've seen a couple, and seen some that were just eating across there, and then some that stopped at the feeder, a couple of them, and I don't know if they're just flying around the neighborhood enjoying all the best of the flowers, or if they're in my front yard, or if they're hanging out in a tree, or my worst case scenario, which would make them happy too, would be that maybe most of them moved south, and I hate to see that day come every fall, but it happens. And I don't know what the weather will bring next week. Montana usually cools off. They usually have a frost around now, and then it warms back up through November. Here, man, sometimes we don't even have sometimes we have a little dusting of snow about by the end of October. And fall colors, you can see here, we have no fall colors. I am going to take a trip up into the Rocky Mountain National Park, and I am going to see where the fall colors are up there, just because I want to get out of town and see if I can see any more hummingbirds up there. Don't know how many are there, but I'm eager to see. So it's a bummer that these vines are just starting to bloom, and I don't have a whole yard full of hummingbirds to buzz all over them. But I'm sure hoping that a whole bunch of them will still come through while they're blooming, and they'll get to enjoy them. Because when they provide thousands of flowers over that vine, and the ones on the fence that are blooming everywhere that are starting to bloom. I don't know if I can see the blooms from here. But anyway, like these. They get these all over just standing up. They will attract hummingbirds and be really bright and pretty. They're just slow. We just had too many cloudy days. Too long of a rainy season. But then in Montana, they're saying that my dad said, we're going to lose a lot of trees next year because he said they've had a drought and they haven't had hardly any moisture. And usually when they'll have a week or two of rain around the 1st of September, they haven't had any. And it's dry. So hopefully you don't have any big wildfires. And hopefully we'll see a whole bunch more hummingbirds come buzzing through here anytime now and hang around for a while. I think a lot of times that when hummingbirds are migrating, if they find another place along the way that supplies a whole lot of what they're looking for, the bugs and the flowers, that they might stay for a little while and load up for the rest of their trip. As long as it supplies what they need and the weather's still good. And maybe that's how I get so many of them yet this late in the season. But this morning, I'm kind of missing my little buddies. So over there on the hyssop, there's a hummingbird. And you can see there's a lot of bugs, but there's a lot of little bees. And they don't particularly enjoy sharing their food with bees. Now I just saw a hummingbird go this direction, and another hummingbird go up in the tree. Yes. If I can find him. There it is. Hanging out in the treetops. And because I haven't seen any hummingbirds use this bird bath, I moved it over in between the other two bird baths that they use. And I set a camera up, and I am just checking to see if it was the bird bath. It is a teeny bit deeper in the middle. Or if it is the location. Hopefully it was just the location, because I don't see very many birds take bird baths right in front of me. Off to the side, no problem. But right in front of me, I don't know, 5 feet. It just hasn't happened. So, as much as I love this pot full of vermilion air, I had to move it just to do this little test. And maybe there's not enough hummingbirds here to test it, but I'm hoping. So I'll be watching. I'll let you know how many hummingbirds I see. Try to photograph some more. And I took some of the hot glue beads off of this one. And we will see if they take bird baths there, or They're still intimidated. There is one little trail of it, right where they like to stand, so that hopefully it'll help them not slide off of it. So they can enjoy their bath better. So, for now, because it's so quiet and there's so few hummingbirds, I guess I will say goodbye. And thank you for watching. And when the hummingbirds are gone, there's one over there. When the hummingbirds are gone, I bring in feeders, decorate this up for fall, and feed all the other little birdies that love my yard but just don't come in when all the hummingbirds are here, because the hummingbirds chase them away. It's interesting lately. It seems like zinnias, they'll go to all of the salvias usually first. But later on, there's a few of them. Oh. Well, trying to catch up with the little guys so you can see them. You can sure hear them. Anyways, it seems like they've been going more and more to the zinnias and the big flowers. I don't know if there's a different kind of nectar in there, or if they just don't blow around. I don't know. Anyways, it is just kind of interesting watching them, seeing what they do. I could write books on what I know about them, but there's a whole lot I don't know. Anyway, some of the other little birdies are starting to move into the trees. And like I said, I fill every one of these flower pots in the winter. I put pine boughs in and tree branches, because they're used to having something tall around this area. And usually I always have bird baths here that they come to. So I'm going to put a couple good bird baths, the kinds that I made for the hummingbirds, but with the bigger round, I don't know, 11, 12 inches top. And I'll set them up here in the front where I can see them, and then bring in an elephant ear. And I'm going to get a taller base this time because I don't want mice in it. I don't like squirrels climbing up in it. But, yeah, I want to get a taller base so that I can set a feeder up here, a big tray that can be protected by the weather. And the hummingbirds won't be there to chase them away. And they come in and they eat and they go to the bird bath, and they eat and they go to the bird bath. And I get 30 to 50 of them in a couple feet of space at a time, all winter long, all fall and winter. And I'm eager to see what other kind of little birds live around here, but I save it for the hummingbirds during their season. I feed the other birds at the end of the yard. The squirrel keeps getting into their food. So I ordered more of those bowls that I put over the top. There's the hummers. They love those flowers. There's a lot of them on that. Anyway, I am happy to see I still have some. And I'll be watching for more. 'Cause I sure hate to lose them all. Anyways, good morning. And no, we'll have lots of birds in the bird bath soon. This is the first summer where I haven't been able to photograph the bigger birds even on the corners of the yard because the hummingbirds have had so many that they have just chased all the other birds out repeatedly. So they get on the feeders for a couple minutes on their end of the yard, but then the hummingbirds will chase them away. So it protects them because blue jays like to eat little birds. They raid nests, so do squirrels. And don't want them taking away their eggs and their babies. We want them to have a lot of hummingbirds. Those wildfires all over the mountains, I'm sure, have killed a lot of hummingbirds. And it's noticeable in the spring that there aren't as many as there used to be. But thankfully, after nesting season, that there's a few more little ones out there. Zippity-doo-dah. Almost thought he was going to go in the bird bath. Well, he might. Anyways, if he does, I'll put the video up. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you like to watch birds and see what kind of bird baths they like and what kind of foods they like and how to attract them to your yard, I do my best to try to share all that information with you. So, from my yard to yours, have a great day.